What up, though? It's your boy. Go and see Spaceship Oasis the Incredible. Back for another edition of Straight Talk with Spaceship. How y'all feeling today? Happy, happy Martin Luther King Day. I'm here. I just wanted to kind of fix some things. Trying to work on some things here. Make some things happen. My sound looks like it's acting a little up right now, so we ain't gonna trip about that. I want to thank y'all for being here today. Thank y'all for tuning in today. Um, you know, today's a weird day. Today's a very weird day. Um, Today is Martin Luther King Day, and most of you that know me understand that I've been on this. I won't say a kick, but just trying to change the narrative, change the script, change the thoughts about life. And so for me, I wanted to come and bring y'all a show and talk about certain things that's been going on. I've been kind of under the radar about them. I haven't really said too much. If you are on my social handles, you probably have seen certain things. But today, I just wanted to really talk about uh, Dr. King. And, he had a very famous speech. And I just actually recently did this speech in my classroom, the I Have a Dream speech. But today, I wanted to really talk to us about stopping the daydream. We have this tendency to live off of this premise of, oh, I have a dream, I have a dream, I have a dream. Yes, a dream is beautiful, right? But what are we doing to manifest this dream? What are we doing to really create a sooner than a dream? And I think that's where my biggest frustration comes from our culture. That's where my biggest frustration comes from us not getting the place where we want to be. Right now, we know, of course, we know January 6th was a horrible day where they attacked the Capitol on the words of 45, on the dime of 45, on the encouragement of 45. And we're explosive with it. And it's funny because even for the Capitol situation, we're kind of like, oh, it has nothing to do with us. Well, the fuck it does. Because if they can get away with that, that's opening the floodgates for them to say they can get away with anything. And the work that we are doing is going to be in vain if we allow them. Now, if we look at the definition of a dream is a series of thoughts, images, and sensations occurring in a person's mind during sleep, or a cherished aspiration, ambition, or ideal. Um, a cherished aspiration, ambition, or ideal. Having dreams is great. Having aspirations, ambitions, or ideals are awesome. But at what point do we turn those dreams into reality? At what point do we take those dreams that we have and move them to a situation where we can actually manifest those dreams? As we sit around in the 21st, 20, what is this 21st century? A lot of things have changed for Black people to give us more advantages, and a lot of things have stayed the same for Black people. They've just been masquerading, covered up. Um, where uh, where we start fighting for ourselves, where we start pushing for ourselves. I was telling someone the other day, like, black owned businesses will never grow because black people are too busy worried about the cost of stuff. Do y'all fuckers understand how business works? They can't reduce their prices. They're trying to make a profit to continue the business. But yet we always are the people that want hookups. We'll see people in our family that's aspiring to be bigger than what they are. And we will hold them down by saying, "Oh, but I know you. Oh, I know you ain't gonna, this is who you are." Don't limit a person's greatness. We see people that we don't even know that may possibly have aspirations or goals or desires to do something better. And we will be counterproductive talking down to them, talking down to our culture. Now, let me preface this whole show by saying, and I say this with all sincerity of my heart, I don't give a fuck what white people are doing. You can come here and say, but shit, white people do it too, Hispanic people do it too, Asian people do it too. Maybe so. But I don't fuck with them like that. I don't know what goes on in their household. I know what goes on in the black culture. I know what goes on in the black community. At some point, we have to manifest our dreams into destinies, into actions, into prosperity. We sit back and we want things to happen to us without adamantly going out and trying to change these things ourselves. We sit back and we complain about things that happen to us instead of actively not trying to change these things ourselves. 1963 was the year that Dr. King wrote. 1963. We're damn near 60 years later. And when I was reading the speech the other day, I had to put in context, like, how much has really fucking changed since then? How much has really prospered since then? Right? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? We every year we have New Year's resolutions. We talk about things. I'm sorry, y'all. Every year we talk about the dreams we want to have, the things we aspire to do, the breakthroughs we're going to make in our life. And by April, March, April, we're done with those thoughts. We're done with those ideologies. Right? We're done with those thoughts. We got to get out of our dreaming stage. We need to start writing down our plans, thinking of our ideas, and pushing ourselves to manifesting these things. We got to stop waiting for someone to fix things for us. And now, am I sitting here saying we should be militant? That's tough because we don't have the firepower. We don't have the firepower that some people have. Um, do? How do we do this? How do we move? How do we shape? How do we get ourselves to a situation where we are on equal footing? We have to truly love each other and understand this because it may not seem fair for us. And I agree with that. But we was born behind the eight ball. We were born handicapped, right? So now we have to work harder. That means the things that we see other people do, we can't necessarily do those things. We can't necessarily get away with those things. We can't necessarily be okay with hurting each other. We have to put more force. It's kind of like a relationship. When the relationship first starts, everything's good, right? Everything's cool. But when somebody fucks up, that person gonna have to work harder to make sure the relationship is good. They're gonna have to work harder to make sure the relationship comes back on pace. And so in America, we have to work harder to get our rightful place. We have to work harder to to get our equal stature, fair or unfair. But in that process, we cannot be hating on each other, hurting each other, continually to kill each other, to continually not speak up for each other. It's so easy for us to speak up when white people are killing us. It is so, we're so power to the people. We don't do that much speaking up when it's black people killing black people. But white people kill white people. Not talking about them. I'm talking about us. There has to come a point where we hold our communities accountable. Jail more, we are dying more. We are not getting jobs. We're not getting promotions. We're not getting the opportunities that we need. We're being disenfranchised. We're being hurt. We're being discriminated against. And that's because they know how weak the black community is. We have allowed society to tell us what's important in our life. We have allowed society to let us think entertainment, athletics is all we're good for. Be somebody's drama post, be somebody's drama influence, and be an athlete and shut the fuck up. We don't push our kids to be CEOs and business people. I talk to kids every day in the 8th grade. What do you want to be when you grow up? They have no fucking clue. Are these conversations not being rendered in the home? Are these conversations not being manifested in the home? But we want our equal footing. It does not work like that, people. We have to groom our kids. We have to groom our peers. We have to get to the next plateau. We got to put our people in positions to win. But all we want to do is dream about where we want to be. We don't want to actively do the things we need to get there. We are certain things. The Capitol, the riots at the Capitol did not get as much airplay in the black community as Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan. Let's be real about that, y'all. Let's be real about that. Because we felt like it wasn't our problem. You will see more stuff on social media, in people's opinions, on radios, about things that are inconsequential to the growth of the black community. We don't have a lot of people conversing politics, talking to their kids about politics. What happened to the protests that happened this summer? They've totally died down. What the fuck happened? Nothing. Nothing happened. And that's one thing that a lot of people bank on. They'll start a fire. The black community will start a fire. But when those flames go down, we're not going to reignite that fire. And we can't look at them for that. We have to look at ourselves. We have to say, I'm not doing what I need to do. That is something that they do to play on us. That is something that they know about us. We will be in an uproar for about 4 to 5 days. We will be in an uproar for about 4 or 5 days about some social or racial issue. That's a travesty. After that, we don't care. Our young queens are getting raped, are getting sodomized, are getting victimized, are being manipulated in positions. And when it comes out, oh, that's fucked up. Or some of us be like, well, it was her fault. There's the protection of our black men. We know mental health is a big issue for black men nowadays, for black people as a whole. We still don't pay attention to that when we're talking to our loved ones and our fellow comrades. Where is the growth? We are dreaming, and we're dreaming about this perfect world that's not here. I still have a dream too. I am not racially biased. I have some great white friends and some great black friends. I hate some white people and I hate some black people. And with the way the world is now, it ain't just the white and black. You got Hispanics that don't like us. You got Indians that don't like us because of the groundwork that we are letting other people display. And when I say other people, not us good, upstanding black people. We're letting the ones that are reckless define our culture. We are letting the black people who don't have shit to lose define our culture. And then us with the sense, with the power, with the intelligence to make things shake, we sit back on the sideline and complain. Don't complain about your soldiers if you ain't in the war. What is our game plan? What is our plan of attack? How are we going to get over this hump? Because right now, it's not my generation that's going to make the biggest changes. We can make changes, but it's time for us to fight and articulate our demands. We have not seen the freedom that we have desired. We have not felt the equality that we have longed for. We are still the victims of racial and social injustice. How does this change? And when do we stop daydreaming and actually make this a reality? This is Straight Talk with Spaceship. It's your boy. Go and see Spaceship Oasis. Please hit the share button. Go to our YouTube channel. Please follow. We're trying to get up to 200 subs. Shout out to our 100 subs. We're trying to get it. When do we make this a reality? When do we make this our life, our livelihood? When do we breathe victory? When do we breathe equality? One important thing that we learned this year was just about how important it is to vote. You can say what you want. You can think what you want. And I know there's some people that believe Trump and believe in the inconsistencies of Trump. But our voices mattered this election. We didn't even vote this much for Obama. You realize that? Because the numbers didn't change based on the numbers didn't just change based on the number of white people that voted. It was the minorities that voted. They don't want us to believe that. They want us to think these numbers was obscure. But what if, just if, we were the votes? We were the determining votes. That's why it was such a big deal about Georgia. Because most of those counties were predominantly African American. Most of those counties were us with our voice. And they ain't no like that. They don't like that. They want us disenfranchised. They want us not to be vocal. Now it's time to go into these state elections, these city elections, these county elections, and make that same change. Get people who represent us. Once we get those people there, those people will become us. I'm actually thinking about getting into politics. And I don't know what party I really am. I'm an independent like a motherfucker. I might be a progressive, but I care about the people. I care about the future. We shot the video for King X, which we'll be dropping later on today. Make sure y'all check that out. And one of the homies brought some food up there. And I'm like, but it was such ingenious. Like, I was really appreciative. We're out here in South Dallas. We're shooting a video. Let's feed the homeless. This is what we're doing it for. And it was just so amazing to me how many people walked around or was driving by, honking their horns, putting up their black fists, giving us encouraging words, because that's what our community needs. We don't turn up for social issues like we turn up for the baby or Meg Thee Stallion or the Cowboys or the Lakers or the Mavericks. We don't turn up for our communities like that. We care more about the Dallas Cowboys than our fellow people. Let's just be real about it. Let's just be real about it. Give me a second, y'all. I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. What's up, sister? I'm back. Sorry about that, y'all. I don't sit on these things, and I don't do these podcasts to be haughty or to prove I'm better than anybody or act like I'm better than anybody. But what I do want to do is say we have to actively do better. We have to actively get out of our way. We can't be selfish. We can't be selfish. We have to let go, and we have to love, and we have to be oblivious to what is happening to us right now. And when I say that, not in denial of what's happening, but when you're running a race, you're supposed to race straight forward. You got to go straight forward. And when you look for us, we have to get back to that place, or we have to find that place of peace and place of greatness. This is the dream that Dr. King had. But with that dream, he wanted that dream to become a reality. And so for us, we need to take our kids and talk to them and get books and read to them about Black people. The things that we've done, the things that we've accomplished. We have to let them see more than a world of TikTok and Facebook and Instagram. They will not know this. You can't depend on teachers to teach your kid everything about life, because we can't. There are certain things we cannot talk about. There are certain things we cannot discuss with your kid. It is your responsibility. If you are a mother, a father, an uncle, an aunt, a grandparent, whatever you are, it is your responsibility to instill Black power and Black love into your kids. And that does not mean, oh, you can't like white people. You can't like Asian. We don't want to be racist. We want to be powerful. We want to empower our people. I remember when the whole George Floyd and Breonna Taylor stuff happened, we were doing black owned business. Oh, we're not going to Target. We're not going to Chick-fil-A. We're not doing this. A month later, all that shit was forgotten. We don't talk about that shit. We don't discuss that shit no more. And it's not just about happenstance. It's because we get complacent. We get lazy. We don't want to put in extra effort to do shit that we could. That's why Amazon's Amazon. Allows you. All black owned businesses don't have the Amazon. I tutor. There's people who don't want me to tutor their kids. Oh, you high. What you want me to do? I got overhead. But you'd rather go to Silver Learning Center, Kumon, or somebody that's going to pay the same amount and not get the same care, not get the same understanding of your kid. I was telling my assistant principal the other day, these kids are getting diagnosed with all this stuff. I grew up in an era where we didn't get diagnosed. My grandma said, you better go to school and stop and bet not fuck up. And I bet not fuck up. We will go to someone's business and promote them. Oh, I'm at Shay's Diner. It's awesome. But we don't do that regularly. When do we stop daydreaming and actually put in the work to make our dreams a reality? When do we stop looking at other people's dreams and doubting them? When do we walk on our high plane? When do we honestly demand our respect and force them to give it to us? Say what you want about Kamala. But Kamala, and I was talking to Lita yesterday, Kamala is not only the first black vice president, she's the first black woman. She's not just the first woman vice president, she's the first black woman. Obama, first black president. If we can make it to those type of levels, we can make that shit happen. Your son or daughter, go look at them. That may be the next president of the United States. Well, not the next. Of course, it's going to take some time. But they could be president of the United States. We have to stop daydreaming. We have to start loving and pushing and encouraging each other. We need to stop hating on each other. We need to stop hating ourselves. We need to fight what we have. We need to confront our difficulties. It's easy for us to blame other people for our transgressions because they are the ones that did it. It's easy. They're the ones that did it to us, right? That's why we hurt. But what are we going to do? When are we going to do it? If it doesn't profit us, if it doesn't do something for us, we take our hands off these things. We take our hands off our community growth. That ain't my kid. I don't need to tell him to stop saying. So what's really happening is you're telling America, because we no longer have a village, you're scared of your own community as well. Yeah, I know. Some of these kids out here killers. Some of these kids out here disrespectful. You scared of some disrespect? I teach 8th graders, yo. 8th graders. You know how often I get disrespected? Now, ask yourself, I don't say anything back. And I let them know it too. Your words have no power over me. I know who I am. But when I see a kid out there doing wrong, I talk to him. That's another problem. We're so caught up on social media. This is what social media has done. Social media has taken away the power of conversation. Social media has taken away us being able to talk to people in a certain way, in a certain tone. Y'all make sure y'all share this show. This is episode 21, Stop Daydreaming, right here, Straight Talk with Spaceship. Make sure y'all holler at my girl J Rich Designs for all your custom needs. Holler at my girl Karen Brown, Labor Love Bakery for all your baking needs. I'll let them, y'all. But we don't know how to talk to people anymore because we're able to say whatever we want on social media and get away with it. We don't have conversation. Conversation rules the nation. Conversation can diffuse or incite situations. And mostly in this day of age, we're more worried about inciting than calming situations. We have a beef with someone, we don't talk it out. We'd rather have that grudge, and then we want people to pick sides. People say I'm confrontational. And it's not that I'm confrontational, it's that we're gonna have this talk. Let's have this real life talk. And some of the things I say ain't gonna be, they're not gonna please your comfort zone. But it needs to be said. We see a kid out in the street trying to earn money. I saw a kid at Kroger the other day, two boys. They were walking around Kroger, washing people's windows for money. It was so beautiful to me. Kids out here, at least where I stay, right? At least around where I stay. And I saw people walking away from these kids. And I didn't need my windows washed. I probably could have, but I was rich. But here, I got $1. I got $2. Here you go. Y'all are trying to do something positive. What's their other recourse? Go sell drugs? Get on the block? Then those kids are lost? Now we're not at the place where we even talk to those kids? And in the process of me giving these kids these $2, I started talking about pull your pants up, fix your clothes, make yourself look more presentable. Because if you're walking up to random strangers asking to clean their car, you're going to either look like a bum or a hustler. In my muscle group, I taught young men how to tie ties. It ain't for right now. It's not for right now. It's for their future. I learned something a long time ago. When you're young, you learn. As you get older, you understand. And what we show the world at 30, 40, 50 years old is, what did we learn? Do we have understanding of what we learned? I am not sitting here saying I was the saint. I was the quiet, straight A kid who never got in trouble. Baby, I got in trouble once a week. Anybody that went to school with me at Flint Northern knows Jay Jones got in trouble all the time. And Mr. John Rhimes kept embedding things into me, kept talking to me to this day. At 73 years old, he still talks to me about my behavior, about my character, and I listen and I learn and I tweak it. Anybody that knows me hard, I'm not the same person I was 5, 6 years ago. I'm not. Your kids that never departs from them, the wisdom, the love. Like, and even on the other spectrum, we can talk to our kids. We can tell our kids what's right and what's wrong. But what are we showing them? My sons, my daughter, when they around me or when they see me doing good things. They see me doing positive things. They don't see me doing crazy fuck. And I'm not saying, look, y'all, I'm a drinker. I'm a smoker. I have fun. But even when people are over here, they have a level of respect for my kids. They have a level of respect for my home. When I go out in public, I treat people with respect. They hear me speak to people. They hear me laughing to people. They don't hear me on the phone talking drama and mess and bull crap. There's enough of that in the world that I need to keep my kids safe and raise them to be strong, powerful Black people. And it doesn't take any way of my life. Even for me, I used to think if I wasn't doing comedy all the time, if I wasn't rapping all the time, if I wasn't joking all the time, then I'm not being real to myself. But this is who I am, and this is who God wanted me to be. It just took me a long time to accept that I can do both. It took me a long time to accept that I can still be great and still be an entertainer. So I don't want to sit here and act like, oh, he talking about this like he's just perfect. No, I have to get it through my skull. And I'm gonna tell you a secret. Until I really came to terms with who I am and my destiny as a person, I wasn't totally happy. Yes, I was traveling. Yes, I was on TV. Yes, I was on BT. Yes, I was at the Grammys. Yes, I was at Beats and Beers. Yes, I was doing. Yes, I was. But my purpose was not fulfilled. And if you're feeling uncomfortable in your skin right now, that is because your purpose is not fulfilled, no matter how player what you're doing might seem. And to fulfill our purpose is not as hard as we make it out to be in our minds. Fulfilling our purpose is just a switch in our head. When you want to exercise, when you want to lose weight, when you want to do something that you want to do, that switch hits and it's easy. It's easy. The hardest thing to do is flip that switch when you want to keep that switch off. It's easier in our world to be a quitter, to be negative, to have doubt, to have self-doubt, to have doubt of others, to not trust people, to not trust the circumstance, to not trust the situation. And I don't want to get on here preaching, but there's been so many situations that I was not sure about, but I trusted my God. And my God guided me through those situations. Or my God, if you don't believe in God, my whatever in my brain gave me course to do the right things. Because there's been many times I've had same situations and did the wrong thing. I picked the wrong door. I should have picked what was behind door number one. I picked behind door number two. I'm still figuring it out, but I'm willing to figure it out now for the promise of my future, for the promise of my kids' future, for the promise of the Black community future. We are so close. When Dr. King talked about the warm thresholds, which leads into the palace of justice, but nobody wants to fucking knock on the door. We're waiting on an Obama. We're waiting on a Jesse Jackson. We're waiting on an Al Sharpton. We're waiting on a Malcolm X. We're waiting on a Martin Luther King. We're waiting on a Shirley Chisholm. We're waiting on Harriet Tubman, a Rosa Parks to come and open that door for us. When we have the power to open that door and to make our dreams a reality. There is nothing genetically that we can't do that white people do. There is nothing intellectually that we can't do that white people do. But unless it's a Black person with more political and cultural standing than us, or a white person who's going to hold that carrot over our fucking head, we don't want to walk into our purpose. We don't want to live the reality of the palace of justice that we got a room in. The palace of justice was not made for whites only. The palace of equality was not made for whites only. The palace of equality was not made for whites only. But what we do most of the time, when somebody does come up to the door, whoa, 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 don't open that door yet. Don't open that door yet. Now you don't want me to open the motherfucking door? Yeah, I want to open the door. I want them to see my face first. Man, if you don't get your bitch ass up out of here. If we all can walk through this door, why are we worried about who's going to open the door? We are so scared that the person who opens the door go try to shut it real close and don't let nobody in. You know how motherfuckers shut the door and you got your fingers on the other side of the door trying to get in. Let me in! Let me in! That's what we scared of. We don't trust that that door gonna stay open until we get our chance to walk through it. Why? Why is that? Why do we believe that we're not as strong as we really are? Do you understand? White people couldn't have dealt with slavery. White people couldn't have been slaves. Let me just throw this out here. Black people are the strongest color of people. Because I don't know if we're like different races, right? People are color races or whatever, but we're all the same. We just look different, right? We are the strongest. We've endured more. And if we've endured more than anybody else, why wouldn't that strengthen us? Because we're still standing. We're still here. We ain't going nowhere. We were here first and we're going to be here last. They all came from us. My bad, y'all. They all came from us. We have to stop dreaming and make these things a reality. We haven't seen a collection of Black greatness since Black Wall Street. We're proud of our forefathers who did things to make us equal. We're proud of the Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X's, the Rosa Parks, the Frederick Douglass, the George Washington Carvers, the Benjamin Bannekers, the Madam C.J. Walkers. We're proud of these people. But we don't inspire to be these people. We don't inspire to be inventors. We don't aspire to be architects. We don't inspire to be creators, civil rights leaders. The world fears us. But it's like, as long as they don't know how powerful they are, we're good. Don't tell them. Shh. Shh. Don't let them know how powerful they are. Because once we know how powerful we are.
I actually dropped the remote, but it was on accident. It didn't break.
It didn't break? Okay. We know how powerful we are. But yet, we don't act like it. We don't gather together. And even when we do get together, when we see Black excellence and Black love all at one time, we feel it. It makes us shiver. It makes us tingle. It gives us a euphoric feeling like this is amazing. But we do what we need to do it on. And we got a secret weapon, which are white people. Because there are white people who are willing to help us. Some willing to help us more than some black people because they understand that we're no different. And we got to be understanding that, hey, there are people who are willing to help us get to where we want to be. But they can't, I can't help a kid who don't want to do their homework. That has nothing to do with me tutoring. That has nothing to do with me tutoring. You understand? Oh, my son's failing class. He needs help. Okay. Well, what do you need help with? Well, he knows the work. He just doesn't do it. Well, what the fuck do you want me to do? What the fuck do you want me to do? So we have to help ourselves as well. White people can open the door because sometimes they can get to the door first. But once again, we don't want to walk through that door because I'm not opening that door. Once I'm through that door, I'm through that door. I don't care how I got through that door. And let me say this. We don't take life the way we take other things. Case in point, we'll go to a club. We'll stand in line at a club for damn near 30, 45 minutes to get in the club. All we want to do is get in the fucking club. We will stand in line, ladies, half motherfucking naked. Fellas, no jacket. Car on E. Baby mama at home tripping. Just got fired from your job. But you still gonna stand in that line to get in that club. But when it comes to life, we're not willing to stand in line with no money in our pocket to sacrifice and keep pushing. We're not willing to know that our car might get repoed, but I need to get it. We'll do this to go to an actual fucking club. I've seen it. I've taken niggas home from clubs who didn't have a way home. All they had was a way there. All they was worried about was going to the club. They wouldn't worry. Once I get there, somebody gonna take me home. But in life, when we gotta stand in that line to get through that door that leads to the palace of justice, we don't want to stand in that line though. It's taking too long. Well, Space, we've been waiting 200 years. No, we haven't. We were to a disadvantage. We was at a disadvantage until around this time, the 60s, the 70s. That's when the ball started changing. Around 75. And it's okay. Because the more and more, and really our biggest time to really make a change and impact was the 90s. And what they do. What they do. What they do. Pac and Biggie both got killed. They tried to sell BET. MTV stopped showing us as much. Basketball players start dying or going to jail. Right? We lost our speakers. That started a little bit, but Al was going through he wanted to lose weight, but gastric wasn't big yet, so he didn't know what the fuck to do. So he was stressed out, losing his hairline and shit. We had a couple speakers in Congress. I don't really know too much because I wasn't big. I mean, we had Y2K, which made us think the world was going to end in 2000. So it took us away. Then we had 9/11, which took us again away from us growing. They drew the attention away from that door. They drew the attention away from that door and put on another door. And we all looked and we all was nosy. Instead of focusing on here, we got shows on TV, on prime time. We got Cosby, we got Different World, we got Family Matters. We've had them in the 70s now. We had them in the 80s, but now we got real life, like the kids, the 80 babies were the shit. They're just like the smartest. If you was born from 80 to 89, you're probably one of the smartest people on the face of this earth right now. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. You know what I'm saying? Like we established some things, but we start putting them together around the 90s. Around the 90s, that's when we start putting it together. But we got so scared in the 2000s and all the shit that happened then. And then you had Bush, you had Katrina. Okay, boom, we had a glimmer of light with Obama, but Obama was kind of in. We felt like Obama cared more about LGBTQ rights than black people rights. And then we got Trump. So it kind of like, and we had Clinton and then the impeachment with Clinton. Like Clinton got impeached for getting his dick sucked. Trump had a full-on fucking riot at the Capitol. Can I just say this? I don't know if this has anything to do with anything, but Clinton got impeached for getting his dick sucked. Not only that, but he's been ostracized, or they tried to ostracize him. Like he was just a horrible president. He was not a horrible president. All these presidents are horrible, right? But as soon as we started getting some momentum, I think we had Bush for 2 terms. Did we have Bush for 2 terms? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we had Bush for 2 terms. We lost all our momentum. Then all of a sudden, because you had to watch Roddy, you had the Roddy Kings in the 80s and shit. Like I said, the 90s started getting better. We had Roddy King and all that. But we had OJ, right? And OJ was like bittersweet for us because we was like, yay, a black man killed a white woman. But then again, it was OJ. If it had been somebody like Tupac that got off, we would have been way more, Red Fox or something, Robert Harris or somebody. We were like, oh shit, yeah. But it was OJ. We like, we already fuck with OJ like that. But something changed in the 2000s. When we started going to college and we got older, we forgot about the things that our parents laid foundation for us. The hard work they put in. We got complacent. We got really complacent. We thought we was equal to the bitch. In the 2000s, the early 2000s, we thought we was equal to the bitch. And we didn't keep pushing. We didn't keep striving. We didn't keep trying to be more. We thought we was good. I'm making a good enough amount of money working at Walmart. I'm straight working for General Motors. I don't need no education. You got athletes. Basketball is a predominantly black sport and the only sport where you can go to the NBA from high school. Go through the levels before you get there. You got to be mentally ready to get there. Football, you got to be in school 2 years before you can enter the draft. But basketball, they changed the rule to let college niggas. Why do you think that was? College kids, more money hungry, spend more money, fuck up their life. Black kids. These white kids, we're going to keep these white kids safe first before they have to deal with all this hustle bustle. Then guess what? Reality shows hit. Now we watching reality shows about ourselves, loving hip hop. I love hip hop. What was the other one? Flavor of Love. Remember them shows? The Real World. The Real World was the white people shit. So that the black people want that shit because we equal, right? We equal. But what they did, they took our shit and made us look so horrible, so money hungry. They gave us the imagery of money is happiness, right? Money is happiness. College degree is not happiness. They took off Teen Summit and put on Flavor of Love. And I know those are different channels, but think about this. Think about this. Think of how TV shifted. Video Soul, Rap City. You had places where artists could just come and interview. 106 in Park to a certain extent. You had things for kids to go home and watch and educate themselves. Like I say, Saturday on BET was very informative for kids. until like Caribbean Rhythms came on, right? With Sherry, what was Sherry Carter? Sherry Carter was her name. Please hit the subscribe button. Go to our YouTube, please. We need some more subs. You can see all of our shows. We just put a new video of the week up today. We had the Wild Out Radio's Super Duper Sunday Music Review show last night with some amazing songs. I think we got a new champion. We do have a new champion. But we had a lot of shit. And sometimes I think I'm stuck in the 90s. I'm an 80s baby. I don't get that though. All because you're born in the 80s don't mean like you grew up with all 80s shit. Like I remember watching Thriller, but I remember the time a little better. I grew up in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, South Central, Dead Presidents. I grew up with R&B, Brian McKnight, Boys to Me. I grew up with Boys to Me and Jodeci, Silk, H-Town, Intro. Nigga, I grew up in that era. SWV, Escape, Mary J. I grew up in that era. So in the 90s, we was really coming to prominence. We was really getting equality. A lot of things was coming to a head, and we wasn't taking it no more. In the 2000s, we went back to dreaming. We dreamed and we thought that we was on equal plane. We thought, yeah, we the same as these niggas. We not. And we backslid. And then we stopped loving on our kids. We started doing what we thought these entertainers and shit was doing. We wasn't doing what these millionaires and these CEOs was doing. We was doing what these entertainers were doing. And we stopped teaching our kids to do the things these CEOs and these other successful people. Let me say that. I don't want you to ever think I'm saying, because I'm an entertainer, right? That entertainers aren't successful or they bullshit. What I'm saying is we stopped teaching them the others. I was thinking, how many of us as parents teach our kids about college fraternities and HBCUs besides the one that you want them to go to? Like, I think that's for me. Like, I went to Alcorn State University, and I talk my Southern shit, I talk my Grambling shit. You know, I talk my shit when it's time to, my Valley shit. But I look at all types of shit. I like college. Kids going to college, especially out of state or away from the house. I saw a post the other day about going to a JC. JC is cool. JC is cool. I'm not knocking a JC. I think my sister went to a JC. But having your kid go experience college, if you're in the Dallas area, your kid go to Prairie View, let them have that. You're still close enough where you can reach out to them. I talked to a woman once. She said, my kid don't have to leave my house till they're 25. That's cool. To each his own. But by 25, if you haven't truly developed some social and survival skills, I get it. Like, I wish my parents were there. I wish my parents would have helped me when I was in college. But as a parent, you can still give your kids care packages. You can still visit. They can still come home for the weekend. It's like a summer camp. But they need to vibe. They need to learn how to wake up on their own. They need to know how to clean up without somebody telling them. Because in college, your roommate gonna tell you nasty. They ain't gonna fuck with you. You ain't gonna want to do it. But we don't teach our kids about that. Because we think about student loans. We'll get them a scholarship. Well, my kid ain't that smart. Well, what are we gonna do about it? It's scholarships for everything. We have stopped educating our kids. We have stopped loving on our future. We have stopped living the reality of greatness. We have to stop daydreaming, ladies and gentlemen. Don't think this world's just going to work and just fit into our perfect bubble. We don't talk about Sandra Bland, Philando Castile. We don't talk about them. We don't talk about Botham Jean. People get killed, kids getting killed, young rap kids getting killed. And at no point in time are we standing up saying, no, I'm not going to take this no more. I care. Like, you got to find your passion. You got to find your, if you care about the community, you got to find that place. You got to go to that place. And you got to be a little forceful with your agenda. And that doesn't mean being overbearing. That just means, listen. You're going to pull your pants up because I know how they're going to judge you. You're going to stop talking like that. I had a homegirl on Facebook was talking about her kid, her baby daddy. I said, ain't this the same nigga I talked to you about 2 years ago? Yeah, but him and his girlfriend, man, who is reading this? Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Now, what you not remembering, if Facebook's still alive in 10 years and your daughter has a Facebook, this might pop up on your memories. What are we putting in the atmosphere? What are we doing? How are we trying to live? How are we trying to keep Martin Luther's dream alive by making it a reality? We don't like what's going on in the government, but yet we don't run for shit. We don't go to school board meetings. Y'all black parents don't go to school board. I'm there. It's the white people and Hispanics who are fighting for these kids. So you can't come to a teacher, these schools is messed up. Of course they are. You ain't on the school board. You'd rather go turn up at the club than come to this club and open up this door. You ain't at the parent-teacher conferences. I know. I have them. I have parent-teacher conferences. So don't come to me and tell me, oh, my kid. No, you don't. You don't give a fuck. You give a fuck about yourself. You're selfish. You're not worried about your kids. You're not worried about their future. You're not worried about somebody else's kids and their future. You're not worried about your fellow man and their future. Stop looking behind you. Stop blaming this white man and let's love each other. Let's stop daydreaming. Let's make our reality our reality. Let's be powerful. Let's be beautiful. Let's be full of love. Let's be full of passion about the right shit. Let's pay attention to this world. This world, the fear isn't even it's not even a fear. The world doesn't fear us. The world admires us. We are so talented. We're like the cute girl who thinks she's ugly. Everybody looks at us like black people are fucking amazing. You don't even have to be black. You just have to be our color. Because when we talk to the Nigerian guy, he said, ain't no race over here in Nigeria. I think of Idris Elba, he's English. I don't think they call him a black Englishman. We're the only ones that do that shit here. We allow them to call us this. So, okay, fine. But people admire, we are more talented, just naturally fucking gifted. We're smarter, we're more creative, we have better features, we don't stink. We are the ones that are truly holding us back. And that will be the day when all God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to sing hands, hold hands and sing in the words of that old Negro spiritual. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. Hey man, I'm finna get up out of here. I appreciate y'all tuning in with me on this motherfucking Martin Luther King Day. It's your boy. Go and see Spaceship Awaits the Incredible. This is Straight Talking Spaceship. Episode 21, Stop Daydreaming. Shout out to all our sponsors. Shout out to everybody who rocks with us. Shout out to all the people tuned in, all the people that share. I want to do a new segment on Thursday night on the show. And shout out to all our donors and sponsors and all that good stuff. I want to do a new segment on the show where y'all tell me my funniest post. I want y'all to start inboxing me the funniest posts you've seen me do that week. And I'm going to reflect on them on the show, right? So we're going to talk about those on the show. So if you have a funny post, and I'm gonna tell you the thought behind it, because some of my shit be like super random. Some of my shit be shit people send me, and some of my shit just be, whatever. But if you see a post, an interesting or funny post of mine, inbox it to me. Hit me up on the inbox. Hit me up on the Facebook. Hit me up on the Twitter, the Instagram, whatever. And I'll talk about it Thursday nights on the end of the Thursday Night House Party. I love y'all so much, man. Y'all be a blessing to somebody's life. It's not about what you get, it's about what you give on behalf of the whole spaceship. Oh, the Essential Entertainment family, the Wild Out Radio, Go DJs, Yellowbone Productions, all points in. Lady J Rock is up right now. The video for King X should be released. I'm about to call Dirt as soon as I get off air. Call him. The video for King X should be out now. That song is so fucking beautiful. If y'all haven't heard it, it's on my page, so go listen to it. All that good shit, man. I love